say that I disagree with Jacob. I believe that it is feasible that if this university made different choices in how it spent its money, what its priorities were, whether it wanted to be the premier flagship university in New Mexico that provides instruction, education, and research for New Mexicans and out-of-state and international students as well. I think you can do that, and we could have a budget that did not require a tuition increase this year. I think there have been deliberate choices that have been made that have made that quote-unquote impossible. But I don't think it's an unreasonable goal to strive for, and I think that graduate and professional students deserve a leader who is prepared to commit to trying to achieve that goal.
Jacob?
I think GPSA deserves a leader that recognizes the real nature of the problem. Tuition increases. It happens all over the country, and it's just, you're not going to hold it flat. I don't care how much internal moving you do. In retirement, costs go up, the cost of opening the doors go up. All these costs that aren't associated with administration continue to grow, as Joseph said. The real leadership on this issue is going to be exerted not by saying that we're going to hold it flat, but by saying that we're going to engage the people we need to engage, and that we're actually going to engage the state in a conversation and push them to address the issue that impacts students across the state of New Mexico.
Next question is going to Kate. How will you maintain a balance as a graduate student and leader if you're elected GPSA president?
A balance?
Yeah. How would you maintain a balance as a graduate student and leader?
I can personally.
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty personal question.
Okay, great. Personal life, yeah. So I'm a student in the physics and astronomy department, and right now my advisor wants us to publish a paper in the next 3 weeks. And I've been working on this paper for maybe 18 months. It's been a long haul, and just over spring break I went up to Los Alamos and I gave a presentation on my research to the scientists there, and it was well received. I was a little nervous, but it went well. And I think that my track record here is that I have been able to continue with my research as a graduate student during this campaign, which has been pretty intense, I have to say. I have to hand it to everyone. This has been a sort of a fun experience, an exciting opportunity to engage over what we can accomplish for graduate and professional students. But at the same time, I still have a cat at home that I have to make sure it gets fed. I went camping last weekend, had a really great time, and also I'm working towards my physics PhD. So I hope that that is a trend that I can continue. I hope that answers the question, but that's what I have to share.
Joseph.
So that is a very good question. I think a lot of people have problems when it comes to balancing things between personal life and academics especially. And although this first year in law school has been extremely hectic, probably the most balanced life I've ever had was my last year actually as an undergraduate at the University of New Mexico several years ago. I was both a student, an employee, and a leader, and I excelled in all of them, which I was actually a little surprised about, but it's kind of the realization and kind of the encouragement for me that I knew that I could do this position if elected to GPSA president. As a student, I was doing research that I worked on for a year and a half with my departmental honors program when I worked on the undergraduate thesis, and I also graduated with 2 other distinctions in honors, so I was able to balance that pretty well. As an employee, I was a student hall director, which was a supervisor for the Redondo apartments on UNM. That included 400 students and a staff of 10. And that included disciplinary actions for every student inside that building. And if anyone knows anything about the residence halls on campus, Redondo is probably the most active as far as students breaking university rules, which kept me pretty busy. And then in addition to that, I was a leader in the undergraduate student government, and I was the senator and chair of the finance committee. I oversaw a budget of $800,000 with that, and that alone, meeting with literally hundreds of students and student organizations over a 1.5-year period in that position was a full-time job on top of it. And as far as excelling and knowing that I can do well in all of those, besides the academic accomplishments, I was recognized from that position as a student employee, as a Student Employee of the Year award for the whole university, which was a great feeling and a great accomplishment. And then from my Senate experience, I received Outstanding Senator Award and also the Chloe Outstanding Senior Award, kind of encompassing all of those. And not in not any sort of bragging sense, I think that it's hard to illustrate how you can do something and do it well and balance a lot of things. And I know personally, and I think that my past experiences represent how I can balance multiple things at once and do well at all of them and not have any of them sacrifice one position for the other. And that's one of the reasons why I want to try and be a very good president for GPSA, because I know I can and I know I would excel at it, and I know that it's something I would look forward to balancing with everything else going on with law school.
Jacob.
With all due respect, you ever asked this question, I'm going to use it as an opportunity for fun. I think none of us, I don't think, would be in the race, you know, to whoever asked this question if we really didn't think that we had the time. I mean, I've had a chance to have coffee with Katie and with Joseph, and Patricia and I had a nice conversation, and I think we're all committed and we all care and wouldn't be here if we didn't think we could dedicate the time. But on the fun side of things, I have no life, so no, it's fine. I mean, I to give you all of you a little sense about who I am. I work right now for the New Mexico Center on Law and Poverty. We're a nonprofit group that provides legal representation to low-income New Mexicans. We're also very engaged on immigrant rights issues, language access to public benefits. We also get involved a lot when people have been denied public benefits, and we work to ensure language access in those processes. We were very involved on the driver's license issue that was recently before the legislature, fighting the good fight, and we'll continue fighting the good fight as the next 3.5 years roll on. I was born and raised here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the community of San Jose, which is right on the corner of Broadway and Gibson. I was raised by my grandparents. You know, I went to school back east and then back, and just adopted a new pound puppy. His name is Fuser, and that's named after Gabriel Garcia Bernal's character in Y Tu Mama Tambien. And he's a little Jack Russell Terrier mix. So that's me in a nutshell. You know, I'm a first-year MPA student, going to try and focus on finance and budgeting. Obviously, I kind of like the nerdy side of life, and I'm perpetually single. So. No worries on anything else.
I believe the nickname Fuser was from Motorcycle Diaries, not Tu Mama Tambien.
No, it's Y Tu Mama Tambien.
Is it?
Yeah. Or maybe you're right, I don't know. It's really Gabriel Garcia Bernal, that's all I care about. The rest of it is sort of immature.
Google it. All right, Patricia.
Okay, so to add a little, to continue with the humor. Wonder Woman. This was given to me by a fan who had just met me and realized how, and asked and wanted to know how I did all that I do. This is a great question because I believe in teamwork. I really do, and it starts in my home. We operate as a team. I have the pleasure of having a spouse and having 2 children that are male, and so I'm the only female in the household. And so the only way I've been able to manage that household is to be able to work as a team. And that's a reflection also of my life, because it has never been centered around myself. It's never been centered around me. I don't know the word I and me in my vocabulary. It's always been about we and us, and how are we going to go about doing this. And this is a reflection of the style that I'm going to bring in leadership, because I know the importance of surrounding the effort and the organization and the endeavor that I'm involved in with as many people that are willing to sit on that team so that we can jointly address all of the issues. so that we can gain strength from our mutual engagement and our mutual ability to be able to take care of what needs to be done. I would never have been able to do all of the things that are listed. Currently on this are my current involvements. I'm not only the president of PACS, I've been the president twice. I entered this university 2 years ago while taking on the responsibility of taking care of my mother-in-law who was ill and who came to live with us. I take care of my parents right now. I'm their principal caregiver. And I've been able to maintain an honorary grade point average that has, where I have received many honors for having that grade point average. So again, it's all about how we set about going about the business of our lives. And I think that's really what's important here. And that's a reflection of how I have lived my life. I would never have been able to accomplish 40 years as a community organizer and as a community developer. I would not have been able to achieve rising to the top of my profession as a CEO or as an executive director if it had been all about myself. I did so because I had exemplary staff that I facilitated selecting. I had exemplary board members who were extremely supportive, and because I had an exemplary teamwork at home that supported every bit of work that I endeavored in. And so that's my style in a nutshell.
Anybody would like